Hi, welcome and thanks for watching. All right, we did it. We bought that off road trailer we've been eyeing. Yep, this beast right here, the Command Camp by Vintage Trailer Works. And we've been testing it the only way we know how, dragging it through terrain that probably voids any warranties. So here's the deal, we wanted something small enough to get in the backcountry, but tough enough to handle the kind of roads we think are a good idea to go camping on and explore. Funny thing is, life had some other ideas in mind for us, and as soon as we bought it, weeks later, our house was for sale and we were moving from Wyoming to Arizona, which is fine because Arizona has a ton of space to explore back roads and camp out. Here's a little sneak peek of the galley area where we started. We weren't camped out up in the Bighorns, we were on a move. Our first night was spent cold at a rest stop. Ah, Moab, you'll just have to wait for another day. Our poor ZJ, it didn't fare well coming down from Wyoming. It made it, it got us there, hold it there, but it needed some work done. So into the shop it went. We had 2 weeks between jobs and before our house would be ready to move into. So we hit the road, blacktop that is, for Texas, California, Nevada, and returning back to Arizona. Hello, Texas. We meet once again. But the trailer didn't fare well either on the roads with rain. All it did was suck water in through the doors and soak everything. So, hotel it was for the night. Great visits, and after 2,400-mile trip, we were ready to be back in our new home, back in Arizona, and ready to go explore. When you have his and her Jeeps, it's a Jeep thing. Sometimes you just have to take them both. This was a little camp spot up in Mingus Mountain, an area we like to go that's an hour from home, so it's a quick getaway when you just have to get away. We had a good night's sleep, but it's basically like hauling around a lunchbox with a queen size bed. The dogs liked it though, they had a great time. Most of the time we're remote camping and we don't really care if we have curtains, but sometimes we go on campouts with other people and curtains are kind of a necessity at times. Did a few mods, some rewiring, ready to go on the next adventure up to Williams, Arizona off of Route 66. Some group camping with an off road group having their annual big camp out. We did some off roading, visited some historical sites. And it's kind of her Jeep, she drives, his Jeep, he drives. Man, look at that mess. We haven't figured out our organization here yet. We're still working on that. It looks good though, pretty rugged. Next up, we spent 3 days in Kofa. I believe this was in February, so it was cool because you don't want to do this in the summertime. Another Jeep group overlanding trip for 3 days, exploring mines, off roads, old cemeteries, old homesteads. It was a pretty cool place to go. We were impressed in how it handled these rough roads. Try it up in Camp Wood for a 3 night camp trip. Ready? Let's go. We're going to have a great time exploring up here. Heading north out of Baghdad, Arizona. This is a pretty easy dirt road, so we'll just speed this up to get through it. Before we know it, we had camp set up. There it is, and look, we've added an awning to it. This was a great feature to have. We decided to hike up to the Black Pearl mine where they used to mine tungsten. Fascinating place to explore. And look, there's some right there. So we put it through some of the works. It's almost perfect, but not quite. We'll update you with the latest mods as we discover what we need. Until then, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. We'd be glad to answer them. Thanks for watching.